I got this crazy event at work. I've been dying to get it accomplished, staying up for hours on end when I should be sleeping just to get my masterpiece finished. When I find out that I have two work colleagues who are bound to destroy my future at that work establishment, but I won't let it happen because I'm on to them. Luckily, the IT specialist in my job position tipped me off about what's going to happen, so I'm going for revenge instead. Hey everyone, so I've got a story that's been eating at me, and I just need to get it out there. I'm a 23-year-old girl, still figuring life all out. You know how it is, right? Fresh out of college, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to take on the world. Or so I thought. I landed this job at a startup marketing firm. It's one of those hip open space offices where everyone acts like they're still in college. Ping pong tables, bean bags, the whole shebang. I was stoked. I mean, who wouldn't be? It seemed like the perfect place to kickstart my career. Little did I know I was walking into a drama-filled space that would leave me questioning everything. It all started pretty innocuously. My team was small. There was Mia, the graphic designer, who always wore the most outrageous outfits and had a laugh that could light up a room. Then there was Liam, our data analyst. A quiet guy, but super smart and always had his headphones on, just nodding along to some obscure band music. Our team's lead was a guy named Alex in his mid-30s, always calm, smooth, and collected. And Aliza. She was like the office unofficial social butterfly, always knew the latest gossip, and trust me, in our office there's plenty. I tried to fit in, I really did. I'm not the most outgoing person, but I'm not a wallflower either. I guess I'm somewhere in between. But something about this place just made me feel, I don't know, off? Like I was missing a beat everyone else was hearing. We had these weekly meetings, right? Everyone would gather around, share updates, crack jokes, the usual stuff. But I started to notice things, like how Mia would roll her eyes whenever I shared my ideas, or how Liam would barely talk, would exchange these knowing looks with Aliza whenever I spoke. It was subtle, but there it was. And it started to get to me, you know? Then there were the after-work hangouts. I was invited to the first few, and we'd go to this quirky little dive bar down the street, and everyone was laughing, sharing daily memories. I don't know. I would try to join in, but somehow I would always end up on the edge of the group, nursing my drink and feeling more invisible by the minute. After a while, the invitations stopped coming. I'd hear about these get-togethers the next day, and everyone was buzzing about the hilarious things that happened. I would just smile and nod, feeling like I was on the outside looking in. It wasn't just the social stuff either. At work, I started feeling like I was being sidelined. My projects, which I was excited about at first, began to feel like they were being pushed to the back burner. Feedback from Alex, which was initially encouraging and constructive, became vague and non-committal. I could not shake the feeling that something was off. But I could not put my finger on what, and I'd say the real kicker came during one of our big client pitches. I had worked my butt off in this presentation, and I'm talking late nights, early mornings, the whole ordeal. I was proud of it, you know, but when it came time to present, Alex casually mentioned that Aliza would be taking the lead on it. I was stunned. I tried to speak up, just to say that I had prepared everything, but Alex just gave me this look like he was saying, "Let it go." I sat through that meeting feeling like I was in some sort of Twilight Zone. Aliza presented my ideas, my work, as if they were her own. And the worst part, it wasn't even that good. But the client loved it. Everyone congratulated her, and I just sat there feeling like I've been erased. After that, I start to retreat into my shell at work. I do my task, keep my head down, and count the minutes until I could go home. I felt like I was losing a part of myself, that bright, ambitious girl who walked into the office on her first day, ready to conquer the world. So here I am at a loss, and I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or if I'm just not good fit for this place. I've always been told to stand up for myself, but in this exact situation, I feel so small and insignificant. So that's why I'm coming to you guys, just asking, if you were in my position, what would you do? I'll update you guys as soon as I can. Update number 1. Wow. So, you guys aren't going to believe this. A few days have passed since my last update, and let me tell you, things have taken some turns. Not exactly for the better. Remember how I felt sidelined at work? Well, it's only gotten worse. The other day, I came in to find out there was a team meeting that I had not been told about. Yep, you heard it right. I walked in, coffee in hand, only to find everyone huddled around discussing something that sounded pretty important. The moment they saw me, it was like someone hit the pause button. Awkward glances were exchanged, and then Alex, ever the smooth talker, said there's been a last-minute change. They forgot to inform me about it. Right, as if the group chats and emails suddenly stopped existing, but wait, it gets better. So, we have this big project coming up, the kind that could really put our firm on the map. I'd been working on the preliminary research for weeks, staying up late, digging through data, the works. I was ready to present my findings at the next meeting, but guess what? Aliza. Oh, Aliza. Out of nowhere comes in with her own research, which she claims that she's been doing in her own time. It was eerily similar to mine, and just with enough tweaks to look original. The team was all praising her for her initiative, and there I was, sitting with my stack of notes, feeling like I've been slapped in the face with them. I tried to speak up, to point out the similarities to my work, but Alex just brushed it off, saying it was great to have different perspectives. Different perspectives, my butt! It's not just work stuff either. The social dynamic in the office is something else. I overheard Mia and Liam talking about a weekend trip that they were planning with some others from the office. The way they hushed up when I walked past them was something out of a bad high school movie. I mean, I get it. Not everyone has to be friends outside of work, right? But the blatant exclusion stings. And then there's this weird vibe I started to pick up between Alex and Aliza. They're a bit too chummy, if you ask me. Hushed conversations, shared inside jokes, and a way more one-on-one meetings than necessary. It's none of my business, but in an office as gossipy as ours, it's hard not to notice. And somehow, I just can't seem to shake the feeling that it's affecting professional decisions. Now, here's where it gets really, really juicy. So there's this guy, let's call him Mark, who works in the IT department. We've chatted a few times, mostly work-related stuff, but he's always been nice to me. The other day, he comes up to me and in a low voice tells me he thinks my computer has been compromised. He found some irregularities in the system log, like someone had been accessing my files without my permission. So my first thoughts: someone's been spying on my work. Sabotage much? Mark said that he would look into it more, but advised me to change my passwords and be careful about what I store on my work computer. This is next level crazy, right? I mean, who does that? But wait, there's more. I've started noticing little things missing from my desk. Nothing major, just like, pins, sticky notes. It's like someone's messing with me, trying to get under my skin, and it's working. It's not just the tangible things either. There's this undercurrent of whispers and sidelong glances that follow me around the office. I catch bits and pieces of conversations that stopped abruptly when I approach. It's like I've become the main character in some weird office drama that I never auditioned for. I feel like I'm being slowly cornered, and it's just a matter of time before I snap. So, here I am, guys, stuck in this tangled web of office politics, betrayal, and mind games. I'm trying to keep my head above water, but it's getting harder every single day. If anybody reading this has gone through anything similar in your workplace, let me know what I should do. I'll update you guys soon enough. Update number 2. Hey again, it's been 2 weeks since I last shared the gossip on what's going on at my workplace, and things keep getting worse. So, remember Mark from IT? He's become somewhat of an ally in this, and after the whole computer spying fiasco, he's been discreetly keeping an eye out for me. And guess what he found out? More evidence of somebody accessing my files and emails. This isn't just paranoia anymore, it's actually real life. Borderline illegal stuff happening right under my nose. But guys, let's rewind a bit, I'm getting ahead of myself. The tension in the office has been thick enough to cut with a knife. Even a plastic dull knife will slice right through it. I've been doing my best to keep my head down, focus on my work, trying to ignore the constant feeling of eyes on the back of my head. But it's been tough. The little theft at my desk have continued. Now it's escalated to my notepad, my hand lotion, even my phone charger, heck, my half-eaten Subway sandwich. It's like someone's playing a game. But listen to this. Last week we had this major presentation for a potential client. A big fish, they call it. The kind that could really set us up for success. I'd been part of the team working on the pitch, pouring my heart and soul into it, and the night before the presentation I stayed late just to put the finishing touches on my part. I left feeling somewhat hopeful, like maybe, just maybe, things were looking up. The next morning I walk into the office ready to shine. But as I sit down at my computer, I realize something else is off. My presentation, the one I'd slaved for over weeks, was gone, vanished like it never even existed. I felt my heart drop to my stomach. Panic set in. I searched everywhere, but it's clear somebody had deliberately deleted my work. I was in a state of shock, but there was no time to process it as the presentation was an hour away. So I scrambled to put together what I could remember. It was nowhere near the level of what I had prepared, and when it was my turn to present, I could feel the pitying looks from my colleagues. It was humiliating, and the worst part was, Elisa swooped in with her segment, which was suspiciously similar to my original idea, saving the day. It was like an utter slap in the face. After the meeting, Alex pulled me aside. He said he was, quote, disappointed, and that he had expected more from me. He questioned my commitment and hinted that my position in the team was no longer secure. Well, I was at a loss for words. How could I explain that my work had been stolen without sounding like I was making excuses? And then there's the growing closeness between Alex and Elisa. It's more obvious now, and there's always together, just sharing ideas and looks and whispering. It's like they're in their own little world. It's affecting the team dynamics, and I can't help but feel like it's somehow tied to what's happening to me. But here's where things take an even stranger turn. 2 days ago, as I was leaving the office, I overheard a conversation that stopped me dead in my tracks. It was Elisa and Alex, and they were talking about me. They were laughing, saying how easy it was to set me up, and my heart was pounding in my chest. This wasn't just random office politics, this was a targeted campaign against me. So I stood there, hidden from my view and my mind racing. Why would they do this to me? What did I ever do to them? It felt like a betrayal. I was supposed to trust these people. I worked with them, and all along they were plotting against me. I went home that night feeling a mix of anger, sadness, and disbelief. I could not sleep, I could not eat. All I could think about was the injustice of it all. How could I work in a place where I was blatantly undermined and disrespected? I don't know what my next move is, but what I do know is that I'm not going to let them get away with this. They've pushed me to my limit, and it's time for them to see that I'm not just going to roll over and take it. Update. Hey, it's me again. You guys won't believe what's transpired over the last couple of weeks. Oh boy, sit down and relax. This one's crazy. After overhearing the conversation between Alex and Elisa, something inside of me just snapped. No more Mrs. Nice Girl. It's time for me to roll up my sleeves and take matters into my own hand because I wasn't going to be a puppet anymore. First things first, I need proof. Solid, undeniable proof of their schemes, and that's where Mark from IT came in. He'd been on a silent support all this while, but now he was in on the plan. He helped me set up a discreet recording device in one of the meeting rooms, a room where Alex and Elisa often held their strategy sessions. It didn't take long to strike gold. A few days later, I had a recording of them gloating over their latest antics, how they sabotaged my presentation and planned to push me off the team. Their voices were clear as day, detailing their entire plot against me. I could not believe how naive I've been, but there it was, right there in their own words, and now I had to be smart about this. Direct confrontation was not the way, and I needed to be strategic just like they've been. So I started to build my own network. I reached out to other colleagues, subtly sharing my side of the story, showing them the evidence. The outrage was immediate. And Alex and Eliza had made a few enemies along the way, and now their past actions were coming back to haunt them. But I wasn't done. I knew Alex had ambitions of climbing up the corporate ladder, and a scandal like this could be a major setback. So I anonymously tipped off one of our senior managers about the recording. I made sure to frame it as concern for the company's well-being, not a personal vendetta. Let's just say the higher-ups were not pleased. Meanwhile, Eliza, who's always prided herself on being the office queen bee, starts to feel the sting of isolation. With the truth out, her little circle of influence dwindled, and invitations dried up, lunch tables became less welcoming, and her once powerful voice in meetings was now met with skepticism. You know what? I can taste the tide turning. I'd say the cherry on top, though. Remember the big project that Eliza had stolen from me? I'd been keeping a detail logged of my work, dates, drafts, notes, the works. I compiled everything and sent it to our client, along with a note explaining the situation. I made it crystal clear that my intention was not to undermine the company, but to ensure the client received the quality of work that they were promised. The client was appreciative of the transparency and requested to work directly with me on the project. When Alex and Eliza found out, the looks on their face were priceless. I'd say they were shocked. They realized that they had underestimated me and that I was not just some office pushover. They played a game, and now they lost, and I have the high score. Alex was reprimanded severely by the management team. Rumor has it, his promotion is on hold indefinitely. As for Eliza, she's become a shadow of her former self. Her influence is gone, with all her allies turning their backs. And me? Well, I feel a bit liberated. For the first time in months, I walk into the office with my head held high. I've proven to myself that I'm stronger than I imagined. As for the project, it's going better than ever. The client's happy and I've been given the lead on it. It's a big responsibility, but I'm ready for it. So that's where I'm at now. I've come to realize that sometimes the best revenge is just proving that you're better than the game that they're playing. Final update. Hey, back again. A month has passed since the whole showdown at work and life's been better. So, where am I now? The project I took over has been a roaring success. We've not only retained a client, but also attracted a few more. It's been hectic, but in a good way. I've been leading meetups, pitching ideas, and truly making a mark. The once doubtful glances have turned into respect, and I can tell you how grateful that feels. But it's not all about work. The whole ordeal has been a major learning curve for me personally, and I've grown tougher, more assertive, and definitely more aware of the office dynamics. I've made some genuine friends too, colleagues who stood by me through the storm. Now about Alex and Eliza. After the management intervention, Alex has been keeping a low profile, obviously, right? He wants that big promotion one day. He's still around, but there's a noticeable change in his attitude. He's subdued, less dominating. I think he realized that his actions have real consequences in this world, not just for others, but for his own self. Oh, Eliza. Yeah, let's talk about her now. Well, she took everyone by surprise. She handed in her resignation last week, and before she left, she came to my desk and actually apologized. It was unexpected, to say the least. She admitted that she got carried away in the competitive atmosphere and lost sight of what was right. Well, I accepted the apology, not because I've completely forgiven her, but because holding on to anger only weighs you down. I wish her well, but I'm also relieved to turn that page. In the quiet moments when the hustle of the day settles down, I find myself reflecting on everything that happened. I stand by my actions. I had to stand up for myself, and I don't regret bringing the truth to light. But now I have to ask. Am I the a-hole for taking the actions that I took? I don't think so, but I can't stop thinking about it, and there's a part of me that's proud about how I handled it. I feel like I took back control of my life, stood up to some bullies, and proved what's worth. But then there's the other part, the one that's unsure I crossed a line somewhere along the way. Well, anyways, that's my story. Thanks for sticking with me through it. I'd love to hear your opinions. What's up, guys? We're going to check out some comments now, and I've tried to compile some of the wildest comments that either have a lot of hate or a lot of support, but either way, these comments were destroying the comment section with tons of likes and dislikes. Here we go. Comment number 1. Girl, you're wondering if you're the a-hole. You're not. Not at all. They stole your work, tried to sabotage your career, and you just took back what was rightfully yours. You played the game and you won. Fair and square. In fact, you should be proud. Not everyone has the guts to stand up for themselves like that, and let's be real, the sound of that workplace sounded brutal. You showed them you're not someone to be messed with. Comment 2. Not the a-hole. Why are you even questioning yourself? They stole from you, and you know what? You just showed them the consequences. If anything, they should be the ones feeling guilty, not you. It's like if someone stole my homework and got caught, they'd be the ones in trouble, not me. You did what you had to do, plus you got your work recognized in the end. Which is cool, you stood up for yourself, and that's what matters. Comment number 3. I'm in two minds here. I do think everyone sucks here. What Alex and Eliza did was wrong, right? And they deserve to be called out, but as someone who's been in the workforce for a while, I think there were other ways to handle this. Leaving a toxic work environment's always an option. Sure, what you did showed courage and definitely took guts, especially with your job on the line, but sometimes stepping away is the better path when you need peace of mind and professional growth. It's a tough call, but I believe in choosing battles wisely. Alright guys, let me know what you thought about today's story. I want to mention the comment that was talking about everybody sucks here. A lot of people were not very happy about it, because I'd say the majority of people are saying that OP is not the a-hole. I do want to know where you guys stand on today's story. Maybe somebody out there has been in the exact same toxic work environment that we hear so much about. I would love to know your thoughts about it, so drop a comment right down below. Let me know what you would have done if you were in OP's position. And also, do you agree or disagree that everybody sucks here? My name's Mr. Reddito. This is Mr. Reddito's Revenge channel. And I'm posting daily videos on this channel now, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course remember, this might be a revenge channel, but it's cool to be kind. Peace.